Secretary for the Defence Force is also related to the Prime Minister. The Defence Force is the Papua New Guinea Defence Force. I wished it was the Chuava Defence Force or the Hirikoira Defence Force. There will be, Mr. Deputy Speaker, an appointment of a permanent Defence Force Minister.
The Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I seek leave before my question to the Honourable Prime Minister to hand up in that regard. I will send a copy to the Prime Minister and the Economic Ministers first, so that they're fully aware of the policy alternative offered by this very credible opposition for their contemplation and adoption. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, my question to the Honourable Prime Minister is with regards to the recent scandal that's affected the Papua New Guinea Defence Force. And just to seek clarity for this Honourable House and the people of Papua New Guinea, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I think it's important that all members of the House appreciate and concur that the Defence Force is the Papua New Guinea Defence Force. I wished it was the Chuava Defence Force or the Hirikoira Defence Force or the Abau Defence Force, but it's not. It's the Papua New Guinea Defence Force. So, with that background, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we have been made aware that the Prime Minister has sidelined the former Defence Minister. We would like to know the status of that decision, who is currently the acting Defence Force Minister, and whether there will be, Mr. Deputy Speaker, an appointment of a permanent Defence Force Minister with respect to the very, very important role that the Defence Force plays with protecting the sovereignty of the country, its territories, and its participation in the up-and-coming national general election in 2027, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Opposition Leader, we have a point of order.
There shouldn't be a point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Opposition Leader, we have a point of order. The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With due respect to the Opposition Leader, I stepped aside and the Prime Minister did not sideline me. This is something that is unprecedented. I understand there are many leaders on the opposite side who have had allegations like that and they never stood down. But I have stepped aside, so have some respect. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, Honourable Opposition Leader, Honourable Minister, you seem to like to debate the question raised by the Opposition Leader. It will be the Prime Minister whom the question is asked to. The Prime Minister will respond as what decision he took on the answer. So, Opposition Leader, continue.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. So we confirm that that point of order is out of order, and we will continue with the questioning. So the question, Deputy Speaker, is who is the current acting Minister for the Defence Force? And from a governance perspective, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if the Prime Minister is the current acting Defence Force Minister in his capacity as the Prime Minister, and the Secretary for the Defence Force is also related to the Prime Minister, does that not raise serious allegations of conflict of interest and governance, a lack of governance? This erosion of public institutions so important to our democracy like the Papua New Guinea Defence Force requires the enforcement of governance standards at the highest level. So can the good Prime Minister confirm his relationship with the Secretary of the Defence Force and tell this Honourable House and the people of Papua New Guinea whether there is a clear and glaring conflict of interest? Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I want to appreciate the member for Suave, the opposition leader, for asking a series of important questions that is currently contemporary in relation to what has happened at Mari Barracks. Firstly, on his ask on who is the acting defense minister, I want to give him a straight answer. Prime Minister devolves ministerial powers to ministers of cabinet. and at any time the Prime Minister can assume the role by determination. Prime Minister, whether myself or the 7 Prime Ministers who came before me, are Minister of Ministers. So at any time, power can be subsumed back into the person who holds the office of Prime Minister to assume portfolio and leadership over that portfolio. And so I want to say that nothing sinister, and I give commendation to the member for Nipa Kurubu, unprecedented. An allegation was made against PNG Defence Force when he was presiding over the Defence Force as minister, and he voluntarily stepped aside. And he said, Mr. Prime Minister, you can do whatever you want to do with the defence portfolio because investigations has been sanctioned.
Honourable Prime Minister, we have a point of order. Deputy Opposition Leader, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, there is common reference in this narrative or discussion that there's a minister can step aside. Could the Prime Minister correct himself and correct the minister also? There is no such thing as stepping aside at law. According to the Defence Act or the Constitution, there is no provision for a minister to step aside. The minister should resign or be terminated. Which is it? What is the legal basis?
Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader, I take note of your point of order, but you seems to be like debating the question. So allow the Prime Minister to answer the question.
Let me correct myself then.
Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader, I've already made a decision on your, as I've taken note of your order, point of order, the Prime Minister will respond accordingly. So allow the Prime Minister to answer.
All right, so Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, I beg your pardon. In a house of many Prime Minister aspirants, maybe I've conferred a blessing to you.
Thank you.
But I want to say that you have been one who never been ambitious. You are content with where you are. But Prime Ministership is not a birthright to James Marabe or one others. It's a process that establishes who becomes Prime Minister. Members on the other side have every right to ask questions that are important for our country. So we do respond appropriately. I want to say the opposition leader's question is pertinent. I have assumed role as a defense minister. In the meantime, when the process of investigation is running, investigation is almost matured, I want to give appreciation to the senior Australian Defence Force high-ranking Brigadier General who's joined in the investigation. We're looking into the totality of what transpired at Mari Barracks, whether the defense minister who's now stepped aside, whether he had a role in what transpired at Mari Barracks, or whether Secretary of Defense had a role in what happened at Mari Barracks, or whether the defense commander had a role in what happens at Mari Barracks. Mind you, speaking without the privy of that advice, but knowledge of law, the Defense Council is constituted by these 3 offices, and, but the operation of the Defense Force is headed by the Defense Force commander himself. That's where the recruitment come under. So this investigation is started with no element of biasness or preconception. Unlike the opposite, they always preconceive something when they ask questions. We allowed for the investigation to run its course, and when the report is complete, those who have offended the procedures of recruitment in the PNG Defence Force will be dealt with accordingly. There are a lot of inferences, those and political connotations attached to what is happening at Mari Barracks, but I want to counsel all of us. Step away from this. PNG Defence Force is bigger than James Marabe or all of us. It is a sovereign identity of our country. It is bigger than even the current PNG Defence Force commander or those soldiers who had a hand in what happened. The report will give us fully, including the composition of recruits, where they come from, the manner in which the name got into, who ended up in the bus to go to Goldie. The full report will be completed. I've asked for it to be completed at the very earliest. And if it is completed at the earliest, hopefully within this month or early next month, the report will be made public to all of us here in the Parliament, as well as to the country, so that we restore credibility to PNG Defence Force. Our government, the Marape Rosso, the Pangu coalition-led government, have worked strongly to making sure that Defence Force is brought back in its right place, including lifting the PNG Defence Force to a 7,000 man on strength ceiling, including deploying over possibility of 10,000 Papua New Guineans. A grade 12 graduates to be picked to go and enlist in Australian Defence Force. Yesterday, it warmed my heart to see a Papua New Guinean, second in command of the battalion, the Australian Defence Force battalion in Townsville, leading the parade in Townsville. It shows what our people are capable of doing, but we allow this petty nonsense and self-interest to creep in along the way, and we will not leave any stones unturned. The second question, where the opposition leader alluded to the current Defence Secretary being related to me, I want to put it on record. He's got no blood relation to me whatsoever. He's half Chimbu and half Taripori. He served our country as Managing Director of Livestock Development Corporation for more than 10 years. And what's wrong with him qualified to get a job that was out on tender? He got a job even before this government matured, and so he's now serving second term. But as this investigation is going to, if he has a hand in any of the wrong that has taken place, he will be part of those who leave out the job as far as the outcome of the investigation is concerned. We are not here to play nepotism. He earned his job on merit, and merit will maintain his job or send him out of job. And so I just want to ask all of us, don't sensationalize things because things are out there in the public place. Play politics with decorum with the space of politics. Ask questions with good intent, because we're nurturing the young people, and I acknowledge them who are sitting in wards. They watch and see what is happening. Ordinary Papuanians, believe it or not, read into the motive of your heart when you ask questions. And ask with decorum, ask with clarity, ask with intention to correct, and for good public policy without element of politics and self-grandeur in the questions we ask. Mr. Akipe, I beg your pardon, the Secretary concerned, this Parliament is not in Parliament to defend himself. The process will run. 3 key offices is under scrutiny in this investigation: the Office of Secretary of Defence, the Office of Commander of Defence, and the Office of Minister of Defence. The Honourable Minister, Dr. Billy Joseph, has not been removed as a portfolio minister. He still remains as Minister responsible for national disaster, which is arm's length from defence, and National Volunteer Service under portfolio allocations. 3 specific portfolios, including, I beg your pardon, 4. Fire services, National Disaster Services, and Volunteer Services were parked under one minister looking after these different portfolios. He's moved away from defence. As we go through defence, I've assumed leadership over defence until the investigation is complete. If he is innocent, he'll be restored back. But if we feel for the integrity of the entire process, he'll be moved to another portfolio. That's a subject of process that is awaited.
Point of order, Member for Abang, what's your point of order?
Just for some clarity, the Prime Minister has just admitted that the former Defence Minister has taken over some of the portfolios under the Defence Ministry. My understanding is that under the Defence Ministry, all those come under one ministry. Is the Prime Minister admitting that he's created another ministerial determination for a separate minister? I think those are 2 different issues. That means that Prime Minister has now increased the number of ministers through this determination to 40. Thank you, Acting Speaker, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Member for Habau, I will treat your point of order as a supplementary question, because I think the Prime Minister have already answered that. Prime Minister, I would ask you to allow you to respond to the point of order raised by Member for Habau. Prime Minister.
All right. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, for standing as you were talking. Mr. Speaker, It surprises me that a very senior in this House cannot differentiate between portfolios and ministry. It really surprised me that a minister and various portfolios. And so he was Minister of Defense, as well as Minister for Disaster, as well as Minister for National Volunteer Service, as well as Minister for Fire Services. Those acts of Parliament came under one minister, and that minister was in the form of Dr. Billy Joseph. So the portfolio relating to defense was moved away from him. He still remains minister over the other portfolios. The act of Parliament that administers those respective functions are under him still. He doesn't preside over Defence Force right now. So I hope those clarities surface. We have not created new ministry.
The Honourable Member for Yalebu Pangia, are you raising a point of order or a supplementary?
Mr.
A point of order.
I think the
What's your point of
Prime
order?
Minister is misleading Parliament again, Mr. Speaker. There's only, the good minister is only sworn to ministry as one minister, as an office of the minister. Now, if he is stood aside as minister, how does he continue to become a minister of other ministries? There's no such thing in law that allows this to go in. And I know the Prime Minister is struggling to answer this question. But, Mr. Speaker, also to you, this question is now, as the Prime Minister answers this question, it's taken over 12 minutes. When there are many other questions on this floor, can you regulate timing of answering questions and asking questions? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Yalebu Pangia, your point of seeing the timing, I think I concur with you. I will ask all members of ministers to respond to questions and make time available for others too. But in relation to the question you've raised in point of order, I'll allow the Prime Minister, if you can elaborate a little on the point of order raised by the member for Yalebu Pangia.
Mr. Speaker, if they want me to shorten my response, they stop interjecting with supplementaries, camouflage in point of orders. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the answer is simple. For instance, there are 39 ministers, they hold many portfolios. Portfolios relate to jobs. You look at, for instance, I'll just give you one example. One person in Honorable John Rosso, Deputy Prime Minister, member for Ley, he's got Ministry for Lands, Fiscal Planning, and also Immigration today. So if anything pertaining to lands comes up, a Prime Minister then withdraws the lands function, subject to investigation, but he still does the other job relating to other ministries. And it surprised me when very experienced, seasoned members of Parliament are just trying to make something that is not really something. The Honourable Dr. Billy Joseph, in as far as defence portfolio is concerned, is innocent until proper investigation completes the case. And if he is found to have breached his duties as defence minister, well then decommissioning completely from defence ministry and other portfolios will take place. Or the Prime Minister of the day, or myself in this case, will decide. You have conflicted there, you remain minister in other sectors, and defence ministry is freed up. So it's as simple as days to night. I don't know why these leaders on the other side is trying to concoct something out of nothing. But in any case, just to give back to summarize the questions, two questions that the opposition leader asked. The investigation is running. Upon its completion, we will decide what is the next case. Certainly, myself as Prime Minister will not be Defence Minister till for a long time. Until that investigation is complete, then we will decide what happens in the defence portfolio in itself. At this point in time, Minister Billy remains a Minister of State, has not been decommissioned. He holds lots of other portfolios entrusted upon him. There's an Acts of Parliament that governs how these important organs of government are administered. And in the Defence Secretary that is questioned, is a Papua New Guinean entitled to apply for a job through a due process. He secured his job. If the investigation finds that he has a hand in the misuse and abuse that has taken place, well, he too will face the same music, so to speak. But it will not rest at just a 3. We're looking at the totality. We'll go below the entire process of recruitment. And we will hopefully unearth what has gone wrong up there, and a report will come. And those who have caused the problem, including the lawlessness in Mare Barracks, will then face appropriate due processes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable